program that's geared towards youth empowerment through creativity. On this program, we'll touch down with professional creators who will give you core information on how to be better and successful at creating. So tune in every Monday evening at 5 to 6 p.m. on Roots 96.1 FM, the station to own your creative talent. Welcome all of you who are tuned in right now to the Fuicha with Nazi Creative Show, aired right here on Roots 96.1 FM, the only station to own your creative talent. I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in Jamaica and overseas, and all my youths too. A pleasant good afternoon to all of you. And in this hour, I'm going to be giving you some core information as I do every week, so you don't want to miss what's coming up in the segments from our special guest creator, featured entertainer, and definitely in What's Going On Youth, we will be featuring the winner of the JCDC essay writing competition. Her name is Natalie Campbell, so you don't want to miss what's coming up. So keep it locked. We'll be right back. First up is What's Going On Youth, and we'll be featuring Natalie Campbell, the winner of the JCDC 2021 essay writing competition. Her name is Natalie Campbell, so stay tuned to hear much more from her later on in the show. Also coming up is our special guest creator segment, and my special guest creator this afternoon is a professional recording artist and also the founder of the Jamaica Schools Band. Her name is Raven Amani. So guys, if you are interested in forming your own bands, this is the segment for you. And you stay out your notepads, because this is the segment where you will learn. Raven Amani is my special guest creator this afternoon, and she'll be giving you some core information in this segment, so stay tuned for that. Also coming up in Feel With Time with Nazi, it's the entertainment segment of the show, and my featured entertainer this afternoon is Aisha Davis. So stay tuned to hear much more from her. She speaks about her journey in the industry, and she also tells us about her new single. So stay tuned. This show promises to be very informative and entertaining. So keep it locked right here to Feel With Chat with Nazi Creative Show, aired right here on Roots 96.1 FM. We'll be right back. Now you'll hear from our featured teacher, Natalie Campbell, winner of the JCDC essay writing competition. Good afternoon, Miss Natalie Campbell, and welcome to Fluid Chat with Nazi Creative Show on the segment What's Going On Youth. You are our featured teacher and JCDC essay winner, and we're so happy to have you on the show. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself to the public.
Hi, Nazi. I'm happy to be here on your show. And of course, my name is Natalie Campbell. I am from the parish of Trelawney, and I'm a teacher by profession. And I like to do a lot of stuff, like reading mostly, and of course, meeting new persons, interacting, learning new things, and adding to my knowledge. And over the years, I've grown significantly from one point, just like when you're developing from a toddler to a teen and then an adult. That is how my life is progressing.
All right, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about in the classroom when you started teaching? Tell us a little bit about that. How you feel about being a teacher?
Well, teaching, it is a passion for me. It is something that I love. And being in the classroom, whether it is virtually or in the physical space, you gain so many experiences. You learn so much from the children. There are things that they can teach you and things that will add to their life. And the part that I like about being a teacher is that you're able to change lives. It's just like when you go to church and they're having the altar call and they say, if there's one down there. In the classroom, there must be someone like that you can change, and that is always my aim, to make a difference, right? So you don't go in like, don't in and you come out as John Cake, right? So there is always a change for me.
Right. You know, when I was going to school, I used to hear the farm teacher say, some of you guys come in as dumpling and leave as Johnny Cake. Oh, Lord. I said, what is that, sir? The same thing. Yes, I understand what you're saying. So definitely want to see a difference in person's life. All right. So, and like you said, that would be your motivation then to see the difference in person's life that you teach. Okay.
Right.
Wonderful.
At the end of the day, there must be a change. There must be some difference, if it's even one small step. That is a difference, and that is something that I really appreciate when I see a difference or a change being made.
All right, and tell us some of the downside of being a teacher, because I know that there are difficult times being a teacher when you have some difficult students to deal with.
Right. So the downside of being a teacher is that sometimes, well, we as teachers, we have to be open-minded, because there are students that we will come in contact with that sometimes they probably don't like your approach, and then you're thinking, that this child don't like me. It could be that they are having a difficult time that we're not aware of, and so the task become tedious because you have to be catering for so many needs within the classroom, so many students, they have different problems. And guess what? Sometimes as a teacher, I have my own problems too. I am dealing with some stuff, and then you have other children that you have to be looking out for. And so sometimes too, the challenge could be a conflict of interest. How do I solve this problem? It's like sometimes we say, motivational speakers, they tell you, don't be afraid of dogs, but when they see dogs, they run. It can be something like that. So you're telling them, you should do this, you should do that. And then when it comes to you, you're like, what do I do now? Right? So that can be, and that is a challenge at times within the classroom, coupled with different changes. We know that we're in the pandemic. Then sometimes you are used to a certain routine, and then you have to be changing. So one strategy might not work this week, and your management and everybody, even the ministry, say, okay, let us do a different approach. And then you have to alter your mind, alter your thinking, and just get to it. So that at times can be difficult, but there's always a way to overcome our challenges.
Wonderful. All right. And then tell us a little bit about how you got into the JCDC competition, because we know that you are the winner, 2020-21, right?
Yes, for the essay section.
Right.
All right, so I am always writing academic papers. There are students within my parish who would approach me and say, can you read over this paper for me or something, and looking at it, I would spot some weaknesses. And one day, my friend from the local parish, that's Yannick in Trelawney, JCD's office, she said to me, that you could enter JCDC because you are a good writer. And I was like a bit reluctant at first, but then I said, okay, I'll try. So I said, you need to let me know what to do and all those stuff. And she told me the different categories, and I said, okay, I'm going to write. So I know that I could enter 3 for each category, which are junior, intermediate, and adults. And I wrote with using different expression and different experiences, catering for the different audience. And so that is how I entered, because my topics, even though it was COVID going on, yes, I place some emphasis on that, but I also place some emphasis on like social media, teens and gender, why teens choose a specific gender to be their friends, language and culture, sustainable development, transformational leadership. So all those rounded pieces were entered.
Wow, sounds like a lot. Did you do a lot of midnight writing, up all the night and doing all of this writing?
Yes, I did. And of course, I had some persons who were encouraging me. And there were times when I said, you know what, I'm going to be taking this day for myself. I'm not going to be focusing on anything else. This is my time. So there would be persons who are calling me and saying, you can look at this for me. And like, okay, hold on, this is some time now. So I'm going to be focusing on me for now. And they would say, okay, I understand. So they are giving me some moral support as I engage in my writing.
Right. Wonderful, man. JCDC is a very good competition. It gives persons opportunity to express themselves. So that is very good that you enter. You think you'll enter again?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Tell us some of the key things to note when you are writing an essay.
All right. So, you know that the writing process, we always know that we should analyze our prompt that is given, and we should have our introduction, body, and conclusion. But when it comes to essay, depending to what type of essay, we know that we should have our thesis statement. We want to ensure that we have credible information. So that means that we're not going to just plagiarize and put something there. We need to cite our references. We need to paraphrase. Paraphrase is important because it allows us to interpret what the other author is saying, because when we use somebody's work, it's like we are doing a secondary research, right? And so it is important for us to look at key points, some keywords that should be used. So no plagiarism, so we're using our synonyms, right? We try to maintain an order that is logical and sequential, and we should cater to an audience, right? And of course, summarizing our points is key in an essay, because there are persons who engage, right, in an essay, and the body of the essay is so full of things that were not asked in the prompt. So it is important to stick to the point. So they ask about saltfish, it is just saltfish. Don't tell them about beef and chicken, right? So stick to the point, get to the point. And with essay, unless there is a word limit, you don't have to be writing a book to write an essay. You just need to get to the point so that your audience who you're catering to, whether it is for juniors or intermediate or adults, once they read it, they can understand it. And using reader-friendly words are also important, because there are persons who like to use so big words, and persons don't really know the meaning of it, right? So it is important to make it simple, make it readable, so that when persons are analyzing it, they know the meaning and get what you are saying.
Okay. All right. And tell the youths why they should be motivated to use their skills. If it is for writing or whichever skill that they have, tell them why it is important to use their skills and the talent.
All right, so for my youths in Jamaica, no matter where you are, now each and every one of us, we have a specific skill, right? There are some who may be more adverse or more advanced than us, but guess what? It is the little things that count, right? So whatever skill you have, whatever talent you have, you need to develop on it. So if it is writing, if it is drawing, if it is singing, if it is cooking, you start off one step at a time, right? Because guess what? You never know where your skill might take you. You never know who might be watching you. You might be a role model and you don't even know because of that little skill that you have. So when you have a skill, be motivated. Motivate yourself, because there are times when you will have no one there to motivate you, no one there to say, hey, good job, you're doing well. So even though that is key, you need to be intrinsically motivated. Motivate yourself, encourage yourself, right? So in encouraging yourself, you are pushing yourself, set a goal. This is what I want to do in next year. This is what I want to do in next 5 years. So you set your goal and you work towards it. No matter what skill you have, you can do it.
Definitely. And we know that some of the youths have challenges. Even if they do have challenges, it's still possible for you to make an effort. And I know that you also have a challenge, and every day you have to deal with your challenge, right, Miss Campbell?
Yes, definitely.
And can you tell us a little bit about your challenge? Because you're going to be educating me about your challenge, because I have no idea about it. Well, I have a little idea, but I don't know the day-to-day runnings of that. So can you just tell us and educate us about this special condition?
All right, so my special condition is lupus. So I am a lupus warrior from 2003 when I was diagnosed. And of course, that was a challenge for me. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to even look in the mirror at first. But guess what? I realized that, guess what? I had to overcome this challenge if I want to reach where I am now.
Right.
So when I realized that, and of course there were persons who would look at me and say, she burn up here. Or, says because she bleach, make her skin stay like that. Of course, these persons were not educated about lupus and the effects of lupus. And of course, as in Jamaica, it's only Jamaica have one feeling, they say, we feel away. Yeah. So, yeah, in Jamaica. So I could say, me feel away, but guess what? I just, guess what? I just step forward, move forward in faith. And of course, I channeled my energy. So when I didn't feel like going out, I said, I am going to be writing, right? So I use that as a therapeutic treatment for me. So whenever I feel down, I write. I remember writing once, Nazi. I wrote a poem that was entered in JCDC. I got a merit for that. It was called Frustration. And I sent it to a friend, and the friend sent it to my pastor and said, she sounds suicidal, sir, you must pray for her. So the pastor had called me and said, what is going on? I said, sir, it is just an expression, I'm just writing. And he was saying, okay, but the writing sounds deep. I said, it has to be deep, it is art, right? And art is creative, so it's like you're expressing yourself differently. But I'm not suicidal, don't think of that, sir. And of course, when it's at times for me, it was difficult to get up in the morning. Your mind is telling you get up, but your body is saying, no, stay in bed. There were times I didn't want to look in the mirror. There are times when I didn't want to interact with people. But then guess what? I realized that if I stay by myself, I'm not going to reach anywhere, right? So I need to get up and I need to go out. I need to be interacting with people. And as my cousin always tell me, there's nothing wrong with meeting new people, right? And so at my support group, they were very strong, and I am grateful for them. They're always encouraging me, you can do this, and of course always saying, I am so proud of you, I'm so proud of you. And of course I appreciate that very much.
And persons who have lupus, how does it affect them? It makes them feel weak inside. What is the effects of it?
All right, the effects varies. So for me, sometimes you're depressed. Sometimes you are tired. You're not doing anything, but your body is literally tired. You're actually dragging yourself out of bed or pushing yourself to do things. And there are times when you just can't move. You want to do it, but you're just saying, okay, this is not the day. I'm just going to lie in my bed, probably watch TV or just sleep. And then the next day you are up and you're about running like you got an injection up and down and there's nothing wrong with you. So as the doctors always say, sometimes it wax and wane. So sometimes you have some difficulties and sometimes you're normal. And of course persons might be saying, boy, it would be hard for me to live with it, but what are you going to do? If it wasn't this, it would be something else. So you just have to deal with it. Right? So that is my approach.
And does it affect everybody's skin? Does everybody have the
because
skin condition?
there are different types. There are different types.
Okay.
Right. So
different types.
So mine,
lupus.
it affects the skin.
Okay.
Yes, you have different types. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as a lupus warrior, I want you now to tell those youths who may have this condition why they should feel empowered, because you are a survivor and they can be survivors too, even if they are young with this condition.
Right. So for my lupus warriors out there are those who are at risk, because you never know when you might develop it. So guess what? Always set your goals. Don't let this lupus thing, because I call it this lupus thing, I don't really think about it. I just go about unless somebody says, what happened to your skin? I'm like, oh, I had a skin problem. So sometimes I don't really remember that I have it, right? So you have to just go out. You have to just position your mind and your thought, channel your energy in what you want to do. Of course, always put Christ first, because with Christ in the vessel, we can always smile at the storm. And Nazi, I always have this mantra that I stick to. I always say, we cannot change the direction of the winds, but if we adjust our sails, we can all reach our destination.
All right. Correct. Wonderful, Miss Campbell. And also, we want to stay connected with you on social media or any way we can reach you. How can we stay connected with you?
All right. So you can follow me on my Instagram page, and that is Nats Spice. And of course, you can find me on Facebook. That's Spice Nats. And I also have a YouTube page where I do object lessons, and that is Nats Behind the Scars. Why I put behind the scars? Because I know that there is potential behind all of these scars. Right?
Wonderful.
So
it was so nice having you. It was very nice having you, Miss Campbell. Oh Lord, what a world of information we got here on this segment with you. And definitely we want to hail you as a lupus warrior, and that Father God will carry you through. He has carried you this far, and he will continue to be creative and help those youths with their writing skills. And I'm sure you're gonna win again the other year when you...
Of course, definitely. And that is my future project.
Right.
And focusing on probably putting out academic works, right? And of course, I'm trying to perfect my skill more. Who knows? I may be editing something in the Gleaner.
I know.
Newspaper channel. Yeah, so I'm working towards that. So my people in Jamaica, you know where to find me.
Right.
Yeah, so just link me up or call Nazi. She knows me. She know where to find me.
Right, I know exactly.
My people.
and she's open for editing and proofreading stories, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right, wonderful. All right, thanks again, Miss Campbell, coming on the show this afternoon, and congratulations again on winning the essay competition, the JCDC competition, essay writing. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, and it was my pleasure.
be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the brightest flame.
yeah,
And the world's gonna know your name.
yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Go the distance, you can run the mile.
Yes, we on the rise right now. Yes, I'm on the rise. Yes, we on the rise right now. Yes, we on the rise. With the strength of my ancestors, through the voice of predecessors, for the sake of my successors, I rise. Wolves may come in their disguise, telling all their twisted lies. Still I never compromise, I rise. Up, you mighty race, rise. Full of hate, discriminate.
Good afternoon, Raven Amani, and welcome to Food Chat with Nazi Creative Show. You are our special guest creator, and we're very happy to have you on the show. How are you doing, Miss Amani?
I'm wonderful. So grateful to be here with you, and want to say big up to your listeners, of course. Always a pleasure.
All right, good. All right, so tell us a little bit about Raven Amani. And I know that you are a recording artist plus a school bands coordinator. So just tell us a little bit about you.
All right. Raven Amani is a mother, firstly, and creative. A creative. And pretty early on, I recognized that I am more like a vessel, conduit. Right. As I was raised in a cult, lately cult has been like a buzzword, but I was raised in one down Montego Bay. So I'm from Montego Bay. And yeah, so that's basically just
Okay.
summary.
So tell us about
Mhm.
your journey as a recording artist and also schools bands coordinator. How did you get started and how you started out professionally in the recording, singing also?
So, as I mentioned, I was raised in a cult. There was no TV, no radio, no computers, no cell phones. And, basically, any little entertainment, any little activities, we would have to come up with it. We'd have to imagine and make believe, as you call it. And so I found my ability to create, just create scenarios, create things. I also started to tap into my writing ability. I would write down all the things I was imagining and all kinds of stuff. So I found out pretty early on that I had that gift, right? And then when I realized that there was really no scope for it at home, given that both my parents was in the church, and I wouldn't be able to pursue that at all, because their philosophy is, or the rules of the church was that as a woman, your place is at home, as a homemaker. And so I kind of decided that, you're going to have to find a way to leave one way or the other. I don't know how it'll happen, but you're going to have to leave. So one day I just decided, I really did decide. A friend of mine was going on a trip and invited me, and I just decided to go along. And the trip ended up taking us off town, and we were there for too long. And I just decided, okay, that's my chance. I'm not going back home. And so that's where the journey started, to meet various people. They kept telling me, but you have a voice, you can't sing. So I decided to pursue it.
And how did the school bands started really? And this is very incredible because it gave youths the opportunity to express their talent.
Right. The school band idea came about when I was growing pretty frustrated with the music business. I wanted to record. My idea was that you have talent, you record a song, it's played on the radio, and you pretty much go from there. And it's nothing like that. It's so many different people that you have to encounter, so many different avenues, so many different things you have to, get done. And so when I was meeting into all these roadblocks with the singing and recording, I decided that I needed to probably check out another aspect of the business. And I started doing interviews at a cable channel called Yardbeat. And was interviewing Etana at the time. I don't remember this, but I was interviewing her roomie at the time, David Smith. Can I just say, I think he was making a joke, like, you can have a program. And he didn't even say much more than that, but it kind of got me thinking. And he introduced me to somebody, and they told me that I must just come up with a good idea. Just come up with a good idea. And so I started thinking about it really, and I came up with the idea of doing school band competition, and started to call up the schools, go into the schools, and I realized really there wasn't that many bands in the school. So that we got to working with the music teachers and some of the talented students, and we started forming bands in schools. And we launched into the competition in 2014. And then we've been doing it now. In 2023 we would have launched our seventh season, but of course due to the pandemic we had to cancel. Yeah.
That sounds like a ride. And how was it for the youths that were part of the band? How did they take it?
They're expected because of course the competition is structured in a way that it's kind of more of like my idea of what's required in the real music industry. You're only as good as your last performance.
Right.
So each round they have to prepare a different performance, and they're judged on their musicianship, they're judged on their presentation, on their stagecraft, ability to engage an audience, and all of that stuff. That's what they're judged by. So, and we've had some very good judges over the years. We have people like Lloyd Parks from Lloyd Parks and We the People Band. We've had Dean Fraser. We've had people like Ipa and all of these real, legends, icons in the business that been able to come to the competition, not just as a judge, but also as a mentor for some of them.
And you yourself had mentors when you started out, correct?
Most definitely, because like I said, I had no knowledge of anything to do with music business or anything to do with performing or anything. All I knew is that I had some talent, right? And I did the confidence in the talent even. So I needed a lot of grooming, a lot of mentorship. And it's just I'm just grateful for other people I came across, across from time to time, who is willing to give that kind of guidance. Recently I was a part of the Masters in Residence program up by UTech, where Mikey Bennett and a number of the veterans in the business would come through and guide us and give us songwriting tips. We were going through a number of workshops with performance coaching, and that was really opened my eyes, because I thought I was pretty decent, but then I went through the program and I realized there was a lot of areas that I could have sharpened up on, and I'm grateful for that time.
Right.
So mentorship is indeed very, very important, Yeah.
And as you say, you have many skills to sharpen up. Can you tell the youth the things that they should note when they're actually trying to achieve a certain goal?
Yeah, I would say it's always puts in your mind for various reasons. You especially if the goal is something that you think is so much beyond your reach or out of your immediate circumstances. And I would say is really to know that there are other currencies outside of money. Of course, we need money to do a lot of things, but the reason why you got that idea, the reason why you got that thought, are the millions of thoughts that goes through our heads on a daily basis. That one just keep resonating, that one just keep coming back. At some odd moments, that same thought, that same idea just keep coming back, and you feel it in every part of your being. This is what you want to be doing. Then know that it's there with you for a reason, and you are equipped to bring it to life. You equipped, no matter if you don't have enough money, if you're not in the right space, but just know that you are equipped to bring it to life, and believe. Believe is one of the currencies that you can use to really bring your goals to life. So you believe and you're passionate about what you set out to do. And keep going. You fail a couple times, it don't work out right away, but just keep believing and stay passionate. And believe me, you'll find your way.
All right. And we know that you are very passionate about singing. Where do you hope to take your singing career?
All right, so I do message music, right? I tell you all the time that I don't think I can entertain. I don't think I can entertain anyone, but I do believe that music can be used as a vehicle that can really transform, rehabilitate, and really heal in some cases. And as we know, in this time, things are so heavy, we're going through a lot. I feel I do the type of music that can lift you up out of any circumstance, transport you, make you feel motivated. And so, that's the type of music.
And tell us the name of the song that you are promoting now and who produced it.
All right, so the song I'm promoting now is called Bad Behavior. And at first, when you hear the title, you think, so me I push some badness,
Yeah.
But no, it's really a self motivation, self empowerment kind of vibe. I love myself. I'm a free myself, even if they call it bad behavior. Yeah, it's that type of vibe, because I feel like self-love, can really self-esteem, having a good, healthy self-esteem really save us a lot of problems, get us out of some bad situations, if you will. And so that's the song we are promoting. Right, it was produced by the late Barry O'Hare, who we were actually just last year in 2020, we were working on an EP, And then in September, I got the news that he transitioned from COVID. He got COVID and transitioned. And so this rhythm that the Bad Behavior song is on, the last rhythm that he sent to me just before that happened. And so I linked my guitarist from band, Mission Driven, and said to him, I have this beat and I have this song, and I really feel like a song like this in this time, is also we're having we're having a lot of talks about domestic violence and how we can help women going through that situation. And I just felt like we needed this anthem that we can have as women to feel really powerful, to stand in our power and our divine feminine energy, And so he said, sure, and we worked on it, and it's out now. Bad Behavior, distributed by a music specialist. So it's anywhere you consume music, you can go there. It's there. Yeah, man.
All right. And then you said you were working on the EP. So are you still working on the EP now?
I kind of have it on pause a bit. Still trying to rebound, I would say, recover from that loss. And so now I'm putting more and more focus in some live performances. But it's a series that we do, Sip and Link. That one's coming up. We have another one coming up on the 12th of December. It's a virtual concert that we do online, carryflow.com. And I perform with my band, and we have special guests, artists coming as well, more urgent upcoming acts like myself who come through, and we just really hold that space where we can, as I say, put down the load and refresh.
Okay. And when is this one gonna be happening?
It's happening Sunday, December 12th, 3 p.m. Jamaica time on carryflow.com.
Carryflow.com. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting, Ms. Amani. Can you tell the youths, though, why they should be motivated to use their skills and talents that they have? Because some of us might not, want to use our talent. Maybe we want to, do what our parents tell us to do, which is good. But I mean, sometimes we have our talents and we are great at what we do where talent is concerned. But how do we draw the line where talent is concerned and, putting in the work in other areas as well?
Yeah. I believe we're all born with unique gifts that are unique to us, and even if there's somebody else out there that is doing what you consider to be the same thing or similar, they're not you. You know what I mean? It's just not you, and that's what's so great about having God-given gifts and talent, and so I feel if you don't pursue it or you don't give it life, you're kind of robbing us of all the greatness that God already put in you from birth. You know what I mean? So not only robbing us, but robbing yourself. Because like I said, we're all born with those gifts and those stuff that is unique to us. And what makes it great is that nobody can be us.
Right.
Nobody at all.
We're special. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Raven Amani. And tell us though, where we can stay connected with you on social media. And you just told us that you have Sip and Link coming up, so that's an upcoming project that we can, go to what you said, caribflow.com.
Carryflow, that's CARIFLO.com.
Okay. All right. So tell us where we can stay connected with you on social media.
All right. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Raven Amani. That's RAYVENAMANI.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Amanda,
And
for
I'm,
coming on the show.
all of the platforms, that's the name all across the
Raven
platforms.
Amanda. Right.
Right.
Thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
so much for having me.
Yeah, man, definitely.
It's a
And come back
pleasure.
next time, man. And definitely we're gonna check out the Sip and Link. Cause we wanna see who's coming on. Can we know who are the guest artists coming on for Sunday?
Yes, the guest artist Z. Kerry James. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned, he's a upcoming, but his material again
Mm-hmm.
is that kind of music that can really motivate and uplift,
Mm-hmm.
transform, rehabilitate. You know that kind of vibe. It's a
Yes.
real roots rocking reggae, and it's
Real
live. We have
music,
a whole
right.
band, a full band with drum, bass, guitar, saxophonist, the whole vibe.
The whole
Hmm
deal. All right. We're definitely gonna check that out. And thank you so much for coming on the Fluid Chat with Nazi Creative Show as our special guest creator. Continue to do great.
What about all the times you said you had the answers? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? What about love? What about trust? What about love like yours?
Let me tell you from now. If I catch you, come with. Let me go.
Good afternoon, Aisha Davis, and welcome to the Food with Chat with Nazi Creative Show. And in the segment Food with Time with Nazi, you are a featured entertainer, and we're very happy to have you on the show this afternoon. How are you,
Good
Miss Davis?
afternoon, Nancy. I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me. Excited to have our chat.
Mm-hmm. So tell us, who is Aisha Davis as a recording artist and what we can expect from your music?
Aisha Davis, as a recording artist, is a multi-leveled, multifaceted, multi-genre individual.
All right.
I've amassed a catalog of music, singles, and collaborations with quite a few named industry artists, some big hits, and some up and coming ones as well. I've collaborated with Shaggy, Idonia, Anthony B, Richie Stevens, Tony Curtis, Danger, Baby.
And the list goes on and on. All right. So when did Aisha Davis started singing professionally? Tell us a little bit about your journey there.
Wow. I can't remember the year.
Okay.
But I think one of my first recordings was with Renaissance. I did like the cover of Genie in a Bottle. Remember that song by Christina Aguilera? I'm a genie in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, I had done recorded on Cecile's very first production. And I did a cover of Maya's song. But oh no, I can't let you get the
Yeah. I know that one too. I love that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's when I started recording professionally.
And what year was that?
Miss, why asking me? I don't know.
You don't know. All right.
I honestly don't remember the year. I don't even think I'm paying attention to years in terms of what year it was when I was recording. I think I was too excited to actually be recording and being in the business because that's what I wanted to do. And just to record was amazing.
And did you know that singing was what you wanted to do all your life?
I know that performing was what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because I'm not just a singer, songwriter, or recording artist, I'm a dancer and actress.
Okay.
I'm also a voice
triple threat. Okay.
Quadruple.
Oh, all right then.
Yes. And I was this close to going to law school, but I have rebelled again because the thing about it was I would have been doing it for my parents, and I didn't want to do something that I wasn't passionate about. I might have been good at it, but I chose not to. But had I thought about it, had my parents or anybody guided me and said, well, you can or you can do all of it.
Right.
Yeah, get your law degree and then you can focus on your entertainment. But I have no regrets. Performing I think performance chose me. The Lord blessed me to be able to perform in several different areas of performing.
Yeah, and that brought me to ask you, when parents want you to become something else that you are not passionate about, how can you handle that as a youth? You're still going to school, but you want to sing, and mommy wants me to be, studying the books, get deep into the books. How do I choose?
I know, right? You want to please your parents, but you also want to ensure that you are happy in the end. I know quite a few persons who are miserable in the field that they're in because it really wasn't what they wanted to do. They did it because that's what their parents wanted and stuff. And they feel stuck something that, and they kind of feel like it's too late for me, but it's never too late. You can always change. You can always do something else.
Okay. And how do you feel as a recording artist in the industry at this time? Well, before and even in this time.
Girl. Oh, Jesus. Say our industry is practically shut down. It's, I mean, we get to record and things, but what we enjoy is perform. And that's really happening right now, especially here in Jamaica. Possibly some places like in the States and a couple places in Europe and things. But generally worldwide, there are not many live performances happening. We've taken quite a blow. And I give thanks that, like I said, I am not just a recording artist. I have levels.
Layers.
I got layers, girl. So my bills have been able to be paid. Lights has been on, water and all these things. Because during the whole pandemic, I've done 3 or 4 films, and of course several radio commercials I've recorded and all that. So
you're still working. Thank God for that.
Yes. Thank God for that. Not as much as I used to, or would like, but I'm still working, and food is on my table. My child is not hungry.
Amen.
We're good.
All right. And how you describe your music? Are you an R&B girl? Are you a hip hop, reggae, soul?
I'm a reggae fusion girl. Reggae fusion, and there is such a thing because it's based, but with other genres like dancehall, R&B, alternative.
And who would you say is one of your favorite singers? Female-wise, I mean, maybe you have more than one, but who stands at number one for you?
Oh God, forever and always, Whitney Houston.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. And on the man side,
I literally cried when she died. And I know, I remember as a little girl hearing her and seeing her, and I was like, yep, that's who I want to be like. You know what I mean? Her voice is undeniable. Like there's no other like hers. And so, I mean, there are several others besides me. There's Barbara Streisand, there's Anita Baker, there's Ella Fitzgerald, there's, of course, Prince, Michael Jackson, very old Marcia. Am I missing any party?
Any local?
That's why I said our very Marcia Griffiths.
Okay.
You know, I love to, you know, and Nadine Sutherland, because Nadine, you know, she gave a different vibe. So grew up and listening to it, I was like, yes, all right.
Yeah, she have a little rebel in, you know, a little rebel type of thing. Which song she sing? Action. Oh Lord, I love Action. You sing.
Not a vagabond sweet. The girl them broke up.
Yeah.
Action.
All right. Are you working on any EPs at this time, or
I
you have
am.
already?
Okay. My EP is almost completed. Putting on finishing touches and everything. So I'm looking to release the EP early next year. Intention was this year, but you know, the whole pandemic thing and everything was just pushed back. So I'm not trying to rush the project. I want it to be a solid body of work. So when I present it, it will be well received and enjoyed. I actually sent you one of the songs that I sent you to be featured is one of the songs from the EP. It's the second one. It's called Love Like Yours. And it speaks to a lot of what's happening regarding gender-based violence.
Okay.
You know, that love that you think is the love till you realize it really isn't the love, so that's not the love you want. You know? Yeah.
Okay. You want to give us a little a cappella of that song?
I don't wanna love like yours. Madonna, love like yours. Don't wanna love like yours. I don't wanna love like yours. Madonna, love like yours. Don't wanna love like yours. Can
It's the end of another creative show aired right here on Roots 96.1 FM, the only station to own your creative talent. I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in this afternoon and all my special guests are passing through the show. My featured teacher, Natalie Campbell, winner of the JCDC 2021 Essay Writing Competition. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your journey with us. You are a lupus warrior and we are grateful to have had you on the show. Continue to do great things and continue to survive. Thanks to my special guest creator, Raven Amani. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your journey with us. We're definitely going to be tuned in to Sip and Link, so continue to do great things in this industry. And thanks again for coming on the show. Featured entertainer, Aisha Davis. Thank you so much for coming on the show this afternoon and sharing your music with us and your journey. Continue to do great things in this industry. My studio engineer, Owen Brown, thank you so much for holding it down for me all the time right there in studio. And my production family, Janet Skyers, Vanessa Stewart, Sonny Patterson, and Brendan Headley Bailey. Thank you all for being a part of the show. And you know, if you want to be a part of the show, you can DM me at Natty Walker 33 and I'll get right back to you. Guys, it was a great show this afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in. Meet me back same time, same place next week for another creative show.